Week 2 of organized team activities is officially underway here in Owings Mills. Shelby Granath alongside Garrett Downing and Cliff Brown. Now, a big storyline this week is that wide receiver Sammy Watkins, who the Ravens picked up in free agency this offseason, has joined in on the fun, and we finally got a glimpse of that highly anticipated Lamar to Sammy connection today at practice. Cliff, your first thoughts on what it was like seeing Sammy as a Raven?
Well, definitely it was good to see him out here learning a new offense. I think that's one of the big things for Sammy. I mean, Kansas City, we know how prolific they are, but the Ravens play a much different style. And it's not just the chemistry with Lamar, it's how Sammy fits into this offensively. So this is a big offseason for him. He's a veteran player, but it's a new system, so it's definitely good to have him here.
The other thing, too, Cliff, with Sammy Watkins is that he's on a one-year deal. So when you're looking at a guy like that, yes, he's a veteran player. He's played in some big games over the course of his career. He's played some of his best football in those big games. But this is a new team. He's motivated. This is a former first-round pick that wants to come here to Baltimore, make a splash, and remind everybody of the type of receiver he can be. And it's a new offense. You know, for him, he's got to get that timing down like we're talking about. So I thought it was a good sign to see him here. And then in terms of what he looked like out there on the field, I was impressed. I mean, he moves well. He catches the ball well. And he really is taking it upon himself to be a veteran leader amongst a very young receiving corps.
And Garrett, we've heard you talk a lot about how important this time period is for specific groups. Obviously the rookies, the second-year guys who didn't get to experience OTAs last year. But specifically for this wide receiver group, with so many new faces, how important are these next few weeks for them to build up that chemistry with Lamar and kind of learn his tendencies, his cadence, his rhythm?
I think it's so important. I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to timing, and that's what these practices are for. I mean, the competitiveness is not really there when you're talking about hitting and contact and things like that. But timing is what you can accomplish during this period of time during the offseason program. And I'll point to a guy who I've been impressed with, who I was really keeping a close eye on today, and that was the rookie first-round pick, Rashod Bateman. We didn't get a chance to see him last week because they were being cautious, keeping him out with a soft tissue issue, but he was out there today. He moves so well. He comes in and out of his breaks really well. He catches everything smoothly, and I think that everybody's looking at Bateman and saying this is somebody who has the potential, along with Watkins, to help take this offense to another level. And I like what the receiving group right now, with those guys, the addition of Bateman, the addition of Watkins, Tylan Wallace, I really like where they are right now.
Now, fans, in case you missed it, we did a really nice in-depth look at Rashod Bateman, his life, how he got to where he is today. That's on BaltimoreRavens.com in case you missed it the other day. Now, the other new Raven who made an appearance this week at OTAs was Kevin Zeitler. Exciting to see him out there. Cliff, initial thoughts on what this guard will bring to this team?
Well, another veteran guy who you expect to step in that spot and solidify. Let's face it, I mean, you're losing Marshall Yonder, big loss for the Ravens, and they really want to now solidify that spot. I think Zeitler's the guy who can do that. And that whole right side is going to be different now with the trade of Orlando Brown Jr. as well. So it is good to have Zeitler here, but I'm not particularly worried about how he's going to fit in. He's been there, done that. I think he's really juiced to play on a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. But yes, it is good to see him out here.
A lot of vets here last week, but a guy who made his way this week is vet Mark Andrews. And I mean, that's a guy you know he's putting in the work in the offseason, and he's going to show up and continue to be a leader on this offense.
Yeah, I mean, Mark has been one of the best players on this team over the past 3 years, and that certainly speaks to the level of work that he puts in during the offseason. But I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if he was going to attend voluntary offseason workouts because he is a guy who's going into a contract season. The Ravens have talked about wanting to extend his contract. Sometimes you see guys at this stage, when they're going into a contract year, not participate in voluntary workouts. But he's here. He wants to continue to develop with Lamar and this offense and the new targets who we just spent time talking about. And look, there's no question that Mark is going to be a great player. I mean, that's what he's been, like I said, for the past 3 years. And I thought he picked up right where he left off in terms of working with Lamar. He's his trusted target. And that was the case once again today.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Mark's a baller. That's why he's here. He loves to play. He's one of those guys who wants to get better every year. And I have a feeling this could be a really big year for him. There's been so much talk about all the wide receivers, rightfully so. But when it's all said and done, you know, Mark Andrews could be the guy leading the team in touchdowns, great red zone target, has plenty of experience. You mentioned the chemistry of Lamar. Mark Andrews is always going to be a big part of his offense because he's that type of player.
And then you get Nick Boyle back, and that's a dangerous duo right there. All right, fans, week 2 of OTAs. These were our takeaways. We'll see you next time.